Good evening, good evening, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our cozy conversation. I have my heater beside me and behind me, and I am warm and ready to have some great conversation with past International President Pat Johnson, past District Governor Roger Pritchett, and Public Relations Manager Erica May. I hope you all are excited for what we are about to witness here tonight. Now, the purpose of our talk tonight is for us to figure out what do we need to do in our clubs to attract new members and to retain our current members, keeping our members engaged. You know, we want to make sure that we are always doing something fresh, something new, so we can continue to keep our members engaged. It's the same information, but how do you make it relevant? And you are in for a treat tonight to hear from these panelists. But before we get started, I would like to take the opportunity to allow our program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster Lisa Smith. The virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Madam DD. I wasn't really expecting that. I do want to say I'm elated to see all of you, all of the smiling faces here. And thank you for coming out. And since she has given me this opportunity, I'm going to go ahead and say right now off the bat, since I have a minute, please go ahead and put your registration in for our conference, our spring conference. We do not want anyone to miss it. You do not want to miss this, the 70th anniversary for District 43. So go ahead, go to the website, D43, Toastmasters.org. Go ahead and register tonight. I know you do not want to miss that. Back to you, Madam DD.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Program Quality Director Lisa Smith. At this time, I would like to recognize all of our past district directors, district governors, district directors that are in the room. If you are a past district governor or district director, please raise your virtual hand to be recognized. All right, distinguished Toastmaster Roger Pritchett. There are a few more in here. I'm waiting for your hands to come up so you can rise to the top. President's distinguished Toastmaster Antoinette Brittenham.
There she is.
Mary Torno is also one. She can't raise her virtual hand.
Yes, Toastmaster Mary Torno. Jessica, will you spotlight these past district leaders for us, please? And then there is one more. I'm still waiting for his hand. There he is. Distinguished Toastmaster Bradley Harris. Would you all like to have something to say at this point? Give you 1 minute to say something.
And I can only spotlight those whose videos are on. So if I have not spotlighted you, it's because you do not have your camera on. I did not deliberately miss you, promise.
Okay. All right. 1 minute, and I'll start with Toastmaster Antoinette Britton.
Thanks, Jackie.
Okay, she's going to pass tonight, but she is our one and only President's distinguished director. Distinguished Toastmaster Bradley Harris.
I came to listen tonight. Treasure the moment.
Also one of our the only past region advisor, and we will have another past region advisor here in the next month or so, but Toastmaster Bradley Harris. Toastmaster Mary Torno, 1 minute.
Join your hands, all of you. Put your best foot forward and let's get the work done. Yes, we can listen, but then we need to take action. Back to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And those are key words, taking action. And we will segue from that comment. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mary Torno. We are here tonight to learn how to have quality meetings to attract and gain new members. But we just don't want you to listen. We want you to move to action and take all that you've learned and move it. And we will be tracking We'll talk about that at the end of this session. Let me introduce distinguished Toastmaster Pat Johnson, past international president. Pat joined Toastmasters in 1983 in rural northern Manitoba, Canada. During her 38 years of continuous learning and membership in Toastmasters, she has spoken in a long list of countries around the world as a keynote speaker and educator. She served as District 21 Distinguished District Governor in 2001 through 2002, International Director 2004 through 2006 from Region 1, International President of Toastmasters International in 2010 to 2011, Learning Master Manager for the curriculum design of our Pathways program, District Host Chair for International Convention in Vancouver, Canada in 2017. She is also the recipient of the Toastmasters President's Citation Award, which is awarded for outstanding leadership and communication on a global level. She wrote and published the book that we all know, Building and Sustaining Vibrant and Sustainable Toastmasters Program in Corporations in 2018. And she launched this book at the International Convention in Chicago, Illinois, that same year, which happened to be my first international convention. She served as Region 10 Advisor for Europe and the UK 2021. 2020 through 2021, and Region 2 Advisor for Northern California, North America 2021-2022. She is the current VP of Membership in her home club, Rise and Shine, club number 331 in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster, past international president, Pat Johnson. Thank you so much for being with us today, Toastmaster Johnson. Joining us on the panel is our very own Roger Pritchett, who needs no introduction to our district. He is currently serving as District 43's parliamentarian and an advisor to many in multiple capacities. Our third panelist is soon to be distinguished Toastmaster, Erica May, who is currently serving as our public relations manager. You all know Erica from all of the newsletters that you see, social media posts, and her famous tagline, quality over quantity. So welcome, welcome, welcome these leaders tonight to hear more about the subject matter for this evening. I'm going to start with one question. I want to know and tell all of us here, what is a quality meeting in your words? And we'll begin with you, Pat. Tell us, what is a quality meeting?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is one that I walk away having learned something new. And after being in Toastmasters for 4 decades, I think that's a challenge. But I also want to be concerned and stretched and grown during the meeting. So I don't want to sit back and go, oh, it's the same old, same old. I want to be challenged. I want challenges issued in the meeting. And I think that it's important that all our members walk away with something to learn or to think about. There's a number of elements for me that are really important when I look at a club, and I've visited a lot of clubs, and I always look for what engages me and what would keep me coming back. And the first thing, I was just recently visited a club in Galveston, Texas, and I went for 3 weeks because they had a hybrid meeting and I was on site so I could attend. And what kept me going after the first week is that they started their meeting saying, how is our 11th goal going on our Distinguished Club plan? And I went, there's only 10 goals. And when I asked the president, he said, oh, we've got the 10 goals met. We've got an 11th goal because we are always President's Distinguished. And I went, I love this club because they're not settling to be best. They're challenging themselves to be even better than that. Not to sit down and go, oh, we've got this, but challenging themselves to the very last day in the last month. So I love that. The other thing that's really important to me in a quality meeting is that we have an education component. In my home club, we meet for an hour and 10 minutes in the morning. We start at 7 in the morning, we end at 8:10, but we have 3 minutes, and it's an education component. It's an education segment, and it is scheduled a role in the meeting, just like Toastmaster, general evaluator, grammarian. Education moment is somebody's assigned role. And for 3 minutes, they have to bring us a quality education moment. It's one of the things that we get even new members doing early on, because they've got ideas about speeches. They've got ideas of what leadership might be. They might have ideas of how this applies to their work. And so it's always brilliant where people come from. It needs to be within the realm of communication, leadership, how it applies to our world, but they really have flexibility. So some people come on how to build a title for your presentation. How do you write your speech? You know, where do you start? You don't start with the opening, right? We don't. So whatever they're presenting, a lot of the ideas that we have in our Better Speakers series, our Better Club series, our leadership series that a lot of clubs don't use anymore are really great resources to use for that 3-minute education moment. We also use it when it comes close to election time to put in what the roles are. We use one of them a month to report out on our executive meetings to the rest of the club. So for me, it's variety. We always have themes. And once our clubs have mature members in them, so right now our club is about half and half. We've got about 12 brand new members. And so the 8 or 9 of us that are seasoned have our hands full mentoring these young people and young Toastmasters. But once we start to get more of a balance and it's stronger, we start to take the theme of the meeting even into the evaluations. So for example, if the theme is of the meeting, lead with your heart, we challenge our speakers to even find some way to include the theme. So as they speak, we ask our table topics to use that theme, but the bonus is we ask our evaluators to speak through that theme in their evaluation. So they might say, what I felt when you delivered your speech was that there was lots of heart. Here's where you could have connected with your audience better. And they're always using that theme. And it's a stretch. Some of those themes are really a stretch for evaluators to use that. And so I find all those things so engaged. And I think that's what, that quality meeting grabs people to want to come back and be part of it, because it doesn't get to be same old, same old. And when you have speakers scheduled that can prepare well in advance, you've got quality speakers as well. So, and then I think if I've got a moment yet to make sure that we don't allow our guests to speak. We have a club norm that says our guests do not speak, because we meet for an hour and 10 minutes a week. We have over 20 members who pay to have that time. And we don't let people who haven't paid use our valuable time. They get to say at the end of the meeting for 1 minute their impressions or what they'll take away from the meeting. But we do not give our time, our learning time, away to somebody that hasn't even made a commitment to us. So we keep that for the people on the inside who are practicing and paying for that opportunity. So those are some of the top things on my mind when I think of quality meetings and what's kept me going for 4 decades. And I'm nervous in my club. Lots of weeks I'm really nervous in my club, and that keeps me going back and keep learning, because I know I can't sit back and cross my arms and go, I've got this, because they'll do something to get me. Just like we will to every one of the people in the club. You can't rest on your laurels. You're as good as what you did last week at the club.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I picked up a lot of nuggets from you. The education moment that you have built in there in your club, there's an educational moment for you. For those in the gallery, if you're not taking notes, these are some really great nuggets. As Lark Doley would say, they are golden. education moment, the mentoring. She talked about mentoring the members, theme meetings, and I like the twist that you had with the theme meetings. When I think of theme meetings, I may think of a particular way, like springtime, but you talked about lead with your heart, that type of theme meeting. So that, can you just expound on that? Give us about 30 seconds or so and expound on that type of meeting.
Well, it could be it's up to the Toastmaster to choose what their theme is. So sometimes it could be terrible, it could be bad weather, or take a risk, or it could be whatever somebody's reading that week, or saw a movie, scary movies. Or so how do you use that? If somebody has a scary experience as a theme, how do you actually use that when you're an evaluator? So that's the challenge. So what was scary about your speech? Well, I was scared for you when you tried this new thing, and I want to scare you further and ask you to do something scarier and stretch and grow. So it really gets your creative juices going, because with every Toastmaster choosing their own theme, you have no way of knowing what it's going to be. And so you have to really, we ask them to post it the week ahead of time, of course, but it's when you start to evaluate, you have to really be in the moment.
Yeah, I really like that. So those were some great nuggets about what quality meetings mean to you. Roger, your turn. Tell us, what are quality meetings?
Thank you, District Director Jackie Hauser. I'm so excited to listen to what our Pastor International president had to say. And one takeaway from what she said is that there's an expectation of excellence throughout their meetings. So that if you can engage someone who's been a member for almost 40 years, that's going to take some excellence along the way. Well, I'm known around the district for my little nugget of sparkling meetings. I like to call quality meetings sparkling meetings. Meetings that have that essence that sparkles and makes people enjoy them and want to do it again. So perhaps a broad definition of a sparkling meeting or a quality meeting would be, within the program, whatever makes people want to return. And that's what Pat was talking about. And if you don't know what makes people want to return to your club, then I just simply suggest that you ask them. Take some minutes at an upcoming meeting and do some brainstorming. Hey, what do you really like about our club? What is it that's going to cause you to come back next week? What makes you energized when you come to a meeting? I'm constantly tell my club that I often come to our Monday night meetings a little bit drained and tired from the day, but I almost always leave energized. And that's after putting an hour's worth of effort and intensity into the meeting myself. So there's something that goes on in these meetings that makes them exciting and enjoyable. So do a little brainstorming and find out. And if you can't take time in your meeting to do brainstorming, then you might just call individual members and ask them the question, what is something that we've done in the last few months that you really enjoyed and you would like to see us repeat again? I think asking those questions and exploring it, and so our club presidents and our VPEs that are here in this meeting, you need to take the bull by the horns here and actually go after that. So that's my start on quality meetings.
Thank you, Roger. And what I picked up from that, the nugget that I picked up from that is, find out what members want. What I may want may not be what the other person want, or they may not even know they want it. until it happens, right? So it's really, as the president and VPE, asking the question, what do we need to do to keep you? Basically, that's basically what you're asking.
And if,
I'm
if I
gonna-
may add, several times I've done training and done that, asking groups, let's brainstorm about what makes a quality meeting or what makes a sparkling meeting. And you get different answers. And especially because clubs have their own particular personalities. What makes a sparkling meeting for one club may not be the same for another.
Mhm. Roger, I'm going to ask that we try that exercise now. Your waterfall, right?
Yes.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay. Well, here's what I want you to do. Don't push enter until we tell you to, but I want you to take just a minute and let's talk about what makes a quality meeting for you. What makes a sparkling meeting? So go ahead and open up your chat and type your answer in, but don't hit enter, and we'll do a waterfall. And when I say go, then we'll all hit enter at the same time, and we'll have a waterfall of ideas about what makes a sparkling meeting. You're definitely going to want to save the chat from this Zoom meeting. All right, so go ahead and be typing that in. Be sure you're sending it to the meeting group chat and not just an individual. And I'll give you another 15 seconds. You can separate some ideas with a semicolon if you want and have more than one idea, or just put in your top choice. And I think we're ready. So everybody go ahead, let's do our waterfall. Ooh,
All
look
right.
at the answer. That's going to be marvelous.
That is. I appreciate seeing this in the chat. And again, like he said, please be sure at the end, we'll tell you how to save the chat. But this is what we want you to do, is take these ideas from each other. Hear what others around the district feel makes a sparkling or a quality meeting, and try using that in your club if you haven't already used some of these ideas. Thank you, Roger, for that exercise. And everyone, make sure you hold on to the chat. Erica, Toastmaster Erica May, I am going to pivot to you and ask you the same question. In your opinion, what are quality meetings?
Many of the things the other two speakers said, so I will be quick. But overall, I believe a quality meeting is one that delivers upon what Toastmasters says it is. So as Toastmasters, the organization, it says it's a leader in communication and leadership skills. And it wants to be the worldwide leader in that. It wants to be the first organization that comes to mind when we're thinking about building those skills. So a quality meeting for me is one that I go into and I can see that taken into fruition. So one thing I loved about what past International President Johnson said is they don't let guests speak. And what I saw there was you have standards. So standards. And then what I love the theme of excellence by Toastmaster Pritchett, because that's one of our core values. But to me, there are a few things that makes a meeting a quality meeting. The roles are filled and an agenda is available. Because if we're saying that we're leaders and we're going to teach you how to be a leader, then we must be leaders. How are we leaders if you're coming into a meeting and we're not organized? The members are competent in explaining their roles and executing it. When I tell people, I say, what sets Toastmasters apart from other professional development organizations are the evaluations. So in order to have a quality meeting, there must be effective evaluations. So then there I would disagree, where a quality meeting is whatever keeps people coming back. Because someone could give a speech and it's not up to par. And their evaluator says, hey, you did great. Or I've been in meetings where I've heard someone say 20 ums in 2 minutes. And then the I counter says, I didn't really hear any ums today, or ahs. I didn't hear any filler words. So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, we're not getting what we paid for. We're not getting what we paid for. So one thing that keeps me coming back to Toastmasters is quality evaluations and quality feedback. I love when my fellow club members give me constructive feedback that I can improve upon when I'm outside of Toastmasters. Also, table topics is lively. Members and guests are given an opportunity to participate. We do give our guests an opportunity to participate in table topics, and I believe that allows them to see themselves in joining the club. And then also the meeting begins and ends on time. And then one thing about quality meetings is it's a responsibility of everyone in the club. Each member has a responsibility to be prepared to execute their roles. And we need to step to the lectern like we respect our audience. So we respect our audience to prepare and deliver a speech, deliver an evaluation, fulfill the role to the best of our ability.
All right. Well, thank you, Erica. You know, Ralph Smedley said, and I'm hoping I'm quoting him correctly, that the backbone of our organization is evaluations. Am I correct in paraphrasing that, Past International President Johnson? Is that?
Yes.
I don't have all this stuff memorized, but I'm pretty sure that sounds right on for me.
Yes. So evaluations are key. That is really key in our growth and development, because again, why are we coming? So thank you, Erica, for your summation of your opinion of quality meetings. I'm going to move to the next question that we have. Why do we need quality meetings? We know what they are, what they mean to you, but why is it important? Why do we need quality meetings? Pat, you want to start with you?
Well, sure, I get the advantage of starting. But I want to build on what Erica said, because what she said really resonated with me, that when she spoke about the fact that the evaluators need to tell the truth. Like they have to call it as they see it. It's our opinions, but if we disrespect our members by not caring enough about them to tell them what they could do to be better, if we just wash them off, that tells me you don't care about me, you don't care if I get better, and you're not taking the time to work hard to give me a good feedback. And all of us need to learn how to accept that feedback, how to process it. And I think it's a compliment when somebody says, I would love to give you some feedback. And not only is it what we did well, but they love me enough to say, and I'd like to see you get rid of the ahs, sweetheart. Or however they're going to say it to you, but that they tell the truth, because that's part of our core values. And that makes our clubs powerful learning places, because we know we're going to get told the truth. They don't tell us the truth out in the real world. At work, they don't take you aside and say, hey, you know, if you change the way you started your presentation today, when's the last time anybody did that for you in the workplace? But we come to Toastmasters to learn. That's what we're here for. And so that is the $1 million gift that we get in Toastmasters. So why do we need quality programs? Again, I need to build on Erica's theme, is that we are the product. Toastmasters advertises deliverables, and we are actually the vehicle that are required to then close the deal and deliver that promise. And when we don't do that, we're out of integrity again with our own promise to the Toastmasters organization, that's what we'll do as a club. But we also break our promise and are out of integrity with the members who sign up, and we promise to support them and do our best, and they promise to do that as well, and then we don't do it. So I really believe that a quality meeting, and why we need it, is because this is the place in my world where I go, where people give me a hand up. They call me forward to be better than I was last week or last year. And I think that is the greatest love that somebody can do for me, is give me a hand up, not a handout, which is, oh, that was great. Sit back, just keep doing what you're doing. What could I say? You're perfect. My response when somebody says, I've got no feedback for you, I say, could you write me a $10,000 check for that speech then? Because I must be so good. And then they have, it's amazing. They now have something to say that could be improved.
Oh,
So I think it's a matter of being in integrity with the organization, what they say we're going to deliver, what we've agreed as a club that we're going to deliver. And that is why we need quality meetings, to provide that service as promised to the people that come in our door as customers, that we serve our customers. We know that if we walked into a restaurant every week to look for our breakfast and they didn't serve breakfast, we wouldn't return. It's as simple as that. We provide a service, an education service. So
wow.
to me, it's really simple. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Roger?
Well, if you've ever sat in an officer training session with me, you've heard me say this, but I believe that sparkling meetings, quality meetings, is the most important activity for recruitment and retention, because you can spend all the time in the world. You can spend lots of money doing things for recruitment into your club. But if they come and they find a meeting that is not quality, they won't stay. So the very first thing you need to do is not to go out and advertise your club. You need to do it, but first you need to be sure that there's a meeting that's worth attending. That is just so important. I think we need quality meetings because it's what keeps me engaged. It keeps me coming back. It keeps me wanting more. And as Pat said, this is the way we help people. We can't help them if the meeting isn't a quality meeting. They're going to go away the same as when they came. And so quality meetings help people improve.
All right. Thank you, Roger. Erica?
Yes, I love everything that they said. And also, the club meeting is our product. That's what we sell as Toastmasters. It's the club meeting. So if you're purchasing anything, you want it to be quality. You want it, if you purchase a car, you expect it to run, to give you transportation. You purchase a vacuum cleaner, you expect it to clean the floor. And if someone comes into Toastmasters, they're expecting to improve in their communication skills, public speaking skills. And so having a quality club meeting allows us to deliver upon that.
All right. Well, this is where we're going to get to, how do we create them? We know you've described what they are. Why do we need them? Here is where we're getting to the how. I want you all to talk in our last few minutes. We have about 9 minutes or so before we go to Q&A. And I want you all to talk about, how do we create quality meetings? What do we need to do for those clubs that are struggling with 8 members, with 8 members, and they're having their club meetings and they're trying to get guests, but they're doing double duty. How do we create quality meetings to attract new members without burning out the current members, those 8 members or those 12 members? And for this, I'm going to start, we're going to go in reverse order. Start with Erica.
I believe that you pointed it out in the beginning, quality over quantity. One of my most favorite meetings that I've been a part of is in my current club. There were about 6 of us that showed up for that day. it was one of the best meetings ever. So it doesn't, even if a club has 8 members, if those 8 members show up at the meeting can still be quality. So before you're trying to attract new members, the people that are there have to make sure that the meeting is quality. And if you don't have enough people to fill roles, then you want to reach out within the district to try to have people come in and fill those roles. But the first thing, if we're not having quality meetings, then again, there is nothing to prospect for because we have internal things that we need to work out. How do you have a quality meeting? Making sure the roles are filled, making sure the speakers are prepared, making sure the club officers are fulfilling their roles. Again, it's just making sure delivering upon what we're supposed to be doing in the meeting. And it doesn't take a lot of people to do that. It takes people that are committed and people that are committed to fulfilling their roles in excellence. So the issue that we have now is we have people who may not be committed to filling their roles in excellence. I signed up to speak, but I'm not going to go through my pathways. I signed up to speak, but I don't have an opening, a close, and a transition or a point. I signed up to evaluate to be the grammarian, but that may not be my forte. One of the best things about our club is that we have multiple grammarians that are very strong. So coming to my club, you're going to get 8 times out of 10, you're going to get a very good grammarians report. So to help have quality meetings, there needs to be training and there needs to be honesty. I remember one time I told someone, one of the members, she hadn't been there that long, but she had been there. She had been in the club at least 3 or 4 months. And she gave a speech. And I told her, I said, hey, you have to work on the ums and you have to lessen them. You've been here long enough. I told her that. We were on a virtual meeting. And she messaged me and she said, I needed to hear that. So it's about taking pride in your role. And everyone must take pride in it and want to do it in excellence. And if someone is not doing it in excellence, then that fellow club member must pull them aside and make sure that they get the training, the help that they need to do it.
All right. Roger.
Well, there's 3 words I preach a lot when it comes to sparkling meetings. And one has already been mentioned, and that's preparation. I think you simply can't have a good meeting unless you come prepared. So, and it's really pretty easy to do. You just have to work at it. You have to start and put a little bit of time in. Have you ever seen someone come to a meeting who's the table topics master and they're writing their questions or their prompts while the speeches are going on and the various roles are being introduced? Well, sometimes that'll work if you have an exceptionally competent person. Maybe they're good at it and they can just kind of whip those out. But the best table topics session I ever did was one that I spent 2 hours preparing for. Did you know you can spend 2 hours preparing for table topics? You can. It's just what you decide to do. Next, my next word that I preach, and some of you know that I'm a preacher on the side, is creativity. Don't do things the same old way every time. Now, I think it's fabulous, and I tell this to visitors that come to our meeting, and we have a lot. I said, it's interesting, we follow the same basic format every week, and yet every meeting is different and exciting because of the different people that are filling those roles. And that's a very nice aspect of Toastmasters. But when you add creativity on top of that, and people don't perform the roles in the same old way every time, then you've just really improved the quality of the meeting. And then third, I would say passion. Bring some passion to the meeting, because passion makes everything better. When you give a speech with passion, when you give a table topics response with passion, when you take your role seriously, whatever role it is, with passion, it's going to add something. You're adding value to what you're doing. You're adding value to what the club receives. I'll stop there. I've got some other ideas, but we'll get to them a little later.
All right, Pat? You're muted.
Thank you. I've tried to mark off the ones that have already been mentioned from the list that I was creating in my head. I want to start out by saying what gets measured gets done.
Mm-hmm.
So set your standards in your club. Have a reputation, build a reputation in your district as being one of the top clubs in the district where people want to visit. Be a role model for everything you do. So be prepared, be enthusiastic, passionate about your role. Find a new creative way of doing it if you've done it many, many times before. But be a role model. Know that every time you stand up at that lectern, somebody's watching you. Somebody's going to ask you to be their mentor, perhaps. Participate fully in the mentoring partnership that you have in your club and mentor people, because I'll guarantee that you'll learn from them as they learn from you, because they'll come with different perspective, different life experiences that you'll get to share. Have empty seats in your meetings. Have room for guests. So when you walk in, the room doesn't feel full. Create a feeling that there is space. It's a psychological situation to get yourself in where there is room. You're going, hey, we've got 4 empty seats in our room. Let's fill them up this month. Let's measure it and get it done. So this month, let's add 2 new members. How can we do that? Measure it. Oh, we got 3 new members this month. Fantastic. Our goal was 2 more next month. Can we make that, or can we make more than we got last month? So put challenges, put the targets in front of the members, because lots of members don't know what you're aiming for. They don't know that here's your education goals and they're contributing to that overall goal. They don't know that you want a minimum of 20 members in your club. My club, for example, we get panicky when we get about 21 members. Everybody's like, we got to get members. We got to get members, because we don't want to ever be below 20 members. And everybody's hyperventilating because we're measuring. And everybody's on high alert. They're going, oh, I'll phone so-and-so. I'm going to put a notice out at the university. I'm going to hang a poster up. I'm going to phone my friend who is interested. Everybody gets into action. So have everybody own the club results. It's not the executive. Let every member own that and have the pride in that, and build a legacy in the club. Also, get your area director involved. I'm going to sing a song that I've been singing all this year. Area directors aren't involved enough. They deliver the district mission, which is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Where are the area directors? If you've got clubs at 8, 10 members, those area directors should be in there working their little hearts out, trying to get those clubs to do all the things they need to do to be 20, at least next year, if not this year. That's the area director's commitment. They signed on for that. So call your foot soldiers forward, give them a hand up, and say, hey, don't forget your commitment was to support every club in being distinguished. So how are all your clubs doing? How are they going to be doing next month when I check in with you, and the month after? And how about May and June? So hold them accountable, because what gets measured gets done. And the last thing I will say about those small member clubs, don't get settled and comfortable. Keep going. We've got room. Adjust your agenda so that there's not gaps in your agenda. Compress your agenda. You don't have to, maybe you get rid of the awe counter and you just have grammarian awe counter, you combine it. Maybe you create a longer education session. Maybe you take 2-minute evaluators and you make them into 3 minutes evaluation. Maybe you actually give your general evaluator 5 minutes. Use your time to be productive and do deeper learning and create more value instead of just running empty slots or doubling up on a whole bunch of people so they're tired. Just get more quality and go deeper into the learning. I agree with inviting people. Ask your district, ask your colleagues, ask other clubs to partner with you to visit while you're hoping to build up your membership. So you've got a robust agenda. And have joint meetings perhaps with other clubs that are working in your area particular, because maybe your area director would actually help you coordinate that and find clubs that you could work with and invite people to be there. And also to make sure your attitude is right. Oh, this is good enough is not good enough. None of us settle for minimums in anything. Who takes a minimum wage if you can get more? How many of you here have one pair of shoes? How many of you have one pair of earrings? Well, some of you don't have any. How many women here have one pair of earrings? That's minimum. I don't live my life on minimum in anything, including my Toastmasters. I want as much as I can get. I'm greedy when it comes to learning and getting the energy and supporting people. So we have an opportunity. For me, this is my tithing in the world. I give my time to Toastmasters because I see what a change it's made in my life. It totally transformed my life and who I am and what I've been able to do. But it transforms people's lives all the time. Every day we walk in there, we have an opportunity to change people's lives from uncomfortable circumstances they might live in to a lack of confidence or belief that they can do something for themselves, that victimization of the world and the people around them or circumstances. They can overcome that because we're there to support them and give them a hand up through Toastmasters. So I'm going to step down off my soapbox now. Thank you for listening. And I'm going to turn back to the district director.
Thank you. Lots of nuggets there. Be a role model. Find creative ways to do your role. Mentor people. There's room for everyone. Create the empty seats. Put targets, put our goals in front of the members. For all of us to own the club results, get your area directors involved. Presidents and VPEs, if you have not heard from your area director since January, reach out to me so that you can get that information. They are delivering, they have great information that they are to deliver to you and to help you. Smaller number clubs. I love that idea of reimagining your agenda. That's the takeaway I heard here. Reimagine your agenda. And this could go for also those clubs that have the higher numbers to keep engagement. Reimagine your agenda. While the backbone and the framework stays the same, you can mix it up just a little bit, depending on what you need in your club. And keep your attitude. That's what I heard. That's what I heard you say. I am grateful for the three of you all. And just to recap before we go into Q&A for our members, preparation is key, fellow Toastmasters. VPEs and presidents, you are here tonight, this special invitation, because we want you to find creative ways to make your club sparkle and shine. Because the VPs of memberships and VPs of membership and public relations, they were here last week with Lark Doley. And we talked about how to invite people and how to recruit and retain our members. But the underlying solution is to have quality meetings. That's why you all are here tonight. To know that we need that agenda done early. We need the roles filled, not when you get to the meetings and you're scrambling to put people in there. Let's prepare so when your guests come in, they see the product that you're offering, and you're more likely to grab them at that juncture. If you are struggling with putting your agenda together, reach out to your AD, reach out to the trio. Program Quality Director Lisa Smith, that is her role this year. Quality clubs, quality meetings. Reach out to us for us to help you. Assign a buddy to you or a fellow club that you all will be able to lean on when you're short of members. There are people working on their DTMs. They need to speak. Now, I understand what Past International President Pat Johnson said about we don't let guests speak, but these are members from your district that can actually aid your club. In that vein, welcome them in to do their speeches so that they can get their DTM. That is help in your club, fellow Toastmasters. We are here to help each other here in District 43. Let's lean on each other. As our Club Growth Director, Toastmaster Rhonda Maddox, she says, family, we are family. In District 43, that's who we are. We lean on each other. So I implore you, I challenge you to, when we leave this space here today, plan out your meetings for the next 2 months. Plan theme meetings around what's going on. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Spring break is coming up. Time is changing next week. There are so many things that are going on. There was National Margaritas Day last week. I'm sure there will be a cookie day or a donut day coming up. Something that is of interest to your club. Find that niche, that theme, and create those theme meetings for the next 2 months. Plan your agendas and track your progress and see if you don't gain any members or engage your current members from your actions and the takeaways that you have heard here tonight. Administration Manager Jessica, we're going to open the floor for questions, so I'm going to yield the floor to you.
All right, first question for our esteemed panelists from the chat. Where would be a good place to look and recruit new members?
Go ahead, Pat.
Well, there isn't a place. As long as there's people there, that would qualify. To be more specific, I would, depending on what your club's target is. So my first question is, what is your target market? Have you got your club branded? See, my club is for young leaders or young managers. So we're situated in the downtown area of my city. People walk by, we're in a school, we're inside a private school where we hold our meetings. We're at 7 o'clock in the morning when the young professionals are on their way to work. We get them for an hour and 10 minutes and they leave at 8:10 and they're at work on time. And so we've targeted young professionals for years in our club. And guess what? I'm the oldest person in our club by a long shot, and we're full of young professionals. But fortunately, they let me hang in because I was a professional and worked in a corporate, and I can bring that perspective. But you have to target yourself and then go looking for the people that would fit your environment and what you're doing. We had a situation come up in our club recently, and we actually had to have an executive meeting because the behavior was unprofessional for our professional learning environment was the complaint. And that was dealt with like that because we're branded and we know who our target market is. So we look for workplaces, we look for where they go, we check out who knows people are working in places and government, in corporations, in buildings, and those become our targets. But you know, everybody, particularly in the workplaces, everybody's building a career at one level or another, and a lot of them need communication. Sometimes it's not easy because lots of people are balancing things, but don't give up quickly. Start and target workplaces, whatever way you can get into them. Look at all the professionals that you meet in your workplace. Have you talked to your dental hygienist, your health, all the health people that you might come in contact with, the people that work in your labs and your medical offices? What about the bookkeepers or the professionals that you meet in your everyday life? Have they ever been invited or their staff invited? What about people that work for the radios and the TV stations? They're professionals, but some of them aren't very good and they could benefit. What about school teachers or university professors? What about people that do training? What about those consultants in your community? What about anybody that belongs to a chamber of commerce that has a business? Anybody that works frontline? So I'll stop and somebody else can finish the list. But where there's people, but look at the way we do in our club when we're actually in the meeting, because we do the Toastmasters promise when we induct our members, and we also promise to support them in that. And it says that I promise to invite other people to Toastmasters so that they also could enjoy the benefits of the program or something like that. We remind people whenever we're leaving our meeting, we close our meeting every week saying, don't forget to invite guests. We're always putting it out there. And then when our guests, we have a huge conversion rate of guests, and we have a lot of guests. It's not unusual at those times of season like September when people socially are trained to go back to school, that we get an influx, and we'll have 4, 5, 6 guests a week at that time of year. Same as January gets like that too, when people set their goals for the year and they come out to check everything out, right? They're out kicking tires of everything they said they're going to do. Toastmasters, the gym, a different way of eating, whatever they're going to do. So they're checking it all out. Toastmasters is in that list. So get them and follow up with them as well. So somebody else can add to the list.
It's very difficult for us to tell you where to look for those people, but it takes concentrated or intentional effort to do it. So you need to find the members, and it's not necessarily just the officers, probably should include them. Get the members that are interested in growing your club and bring them together and talk about how you can encourage one another and how you can make invitations and go out and reach people that you wouldn't normally reach. Have you thought about making a business card for your club? Put your meeting place, meeting times on there, and you can hand those business cards out freely. And so the word starts to get around. And you never know who's going to see that card. It may not be the person you hand it to who actually comes to the meeting. Erica, did you have anything you wanted to add?
So it's right. How many of us people interview Toastmasters? We listen to them speak, and we know that, hey, they need Toastmasters. How have you been in that kind of situation? And you may have even told them about Toastmasters, but they did not take you up on the offer. So when it comes to members, new members, I say Toastmasters is a Toastmaster is a special person. Because first it's someone with a growth mindset, and it's someone that really wants to improve. Because I tell people, as when I was VPM, joining Toastmasters does not make you a better speaker. There is work to be done. So with that being said, so in saying that, you can, it just depends. What is the brand of your club? Like Pat Johnson said, and what kind of members are you looking to attract? And if you attract, someone could join, but they're not a quality member. And some people join all the time and they don't contribute anything to the growth of the club. So it's just, how do we attract the quality members, which we have to have some kind of conversion rate. When you say you all have a high conversion rate, what is it?
I would say we probably convert 85% of our guests. We have very few people that don't join.
That's a very high conversion rate. Our conversion rate is about 26%, and we have over 20 members. But I tell people when I see someone that could benefit from Toastmasters or who is a professional, I do tell them about Toastmasters. So just continue to tell it, but remember that we are the brand. So if we're out here and we're not speaking and we're not leading, why would someone want to join Toastmasters? I've had someone join Toastmasters because of how excited I was about it. And they came, they visited the club, and this person ended up joining. So the important thing is that we tell people when we have the opportunity and that we make sure that we're promoting the brand well.
Yeah, if I can add a very specific example of my specific job that I had, that I was a classroom trainer in a corporate environment, and so every day I had classrooms of adult learners from the corporate world in my classroom, and at the end of every week I had a letter that I had drafted, and it said, all week long I've had people in my class, something like this, and you were the rising star. You were the shining star. I would love to see you join Toastmasters. I would invite you to come with me to my Toastmasters meeting. May I pick you up and take you so that you can see how you can continually improve? And it was just a circumstance that's where I was working. I was exposed to all these people, and all week long I would think, oh, that person's really a star. That person's really got some spark. And it was amazing how many people would just go and check it out. And for me, it doesn't matter to me if I plant the seed, I water the seed, I harvest the seed. It doesn't matter. I'm happy planting the seed. They might not go to Toastmasters for 10 years. I'm okay with that. I want to plant the seed. I want to give them an opportunity. When they take it, that's up to them. Yeah.
Excellent example of what you speak in action. We've got a couple more questions in the chat, not many. I'm going to beg the grace of the audience. I know we are over, but since we have very great panelists who are giving us some great information, if you can stick around for a few more minutes to listen to a few more questions, please do. But I do want to ask the questions from the chat. Our next question from the chat is, how do we teach and encourage the rank and file club members to take individual responsibility for inviting prospective members and participating in these recruitment projects? Which is a very loaded question, but a very great question.
I think
I'll start out. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
I think I started to address this in a previous comment that I made, in terms of at the end of every meeting, we say, don't forget to invite guests. And we use the Toastmasters promise for our inductions, where we actually promise to invite other people. And so every time we induct a new member, we get that review also. And then we remind people. Again, it's because we're reporting out, we've got, we want 3 new members, we need 4 new members, whatever we need. So again, what gets measured gets done. Over to you, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very good suggestion. Have you noticed the passion of this meeting tonight? I've sensed it. So I think part of the answer is to bring it. You need to find just a small group. It only takes 3 or 4. And you decide, we are going to bring it, and we're going to encourage other people to bring it. In other words, having that passion and creativity, and talk about it a lot. It may not convert everyone in the club, but I think it's very likely to grow the size of that core group. And so instead of having 2 or 3 or 4 people who are excited and passionate, it'll become 5 or 6 or 8 people who are passionate. And when that happens, the momentum will carry you much further than if you don't do this.
Hey, can I chime in on that question, if you don't mind? My name is Harold Hunter from New Foundation Toastmaster Club. And to your question, I think that it's best to get more rank and file members involved. I think you should offer like little small incentives. We do that a lot in our club. Say, for instance, if you invite 2 guests, we probably give you $5, which is something that you can do if you're the president and don't mind seeing your club grow. This simple stuff like that can help greatly with promoting your club growth. It's just something that we do quite often in New Foundation Toastmaster Club. And I take that on as a personal responsibility as the president.
Good, thank you. Erica, did you want to add to that question, answer?
Have to respect. Some people come to Toastmasters for different reasons. Like in our club, we have one person that is there, he's trying to improve his speech for work. That's all he wants to do. That is his goal. So everyone is not going to get involved in I want to bring a guest. But if you have enough people who are excited and passionate about Toastmasters, and we invite the rank and file, you are going to have some, and then you're just going to have some that are not in that mind frame, and they don't want to do that. And I think that's okay. And so that's one of the things that I think should be revised in the Toastmasters premise. Because when you're excited about something, you're going to invite people and you're going to want to tell people about it. But you have some people that come with the goal, hey, I need to improve just for this reason. And if they are not interested in inviting guests, then I believe we need to respect them in their wishes.
Excellent. No, it follows. Everyone comes for a different reason. There'll be people who are passionate about that recruiting, and honestly, leveraging those people who are passionate about it is a great opportunity for those folks who are excited. Last question before, and then again, one more grace. I have a small, very exciting promo video to play for you guys after this last question. But last question, who is the best person, or in this case, role or position, to contact to help engage with students and faculties at colleges and universities?
That's not one particular person. That could be anyone. You would just have to decide who is in best proximity in your club, who has the best contacts with the colleges or university. It doesn't necessarily have to be one particular person. It could be it could be a group of you all. Whoever is just has the best contacts and the desire to do that.
The other thing is when you're reaching out to the colleges or universities, they're as unique as each one of us. And so to just say that there's one person to go to once you determine from your club who's going is really difficult also. But you really need to get to, in my experience with universities and colleges, and I've been involved with a few clubs there, they're really challenging to get on the inside. And you really need somebody that's on the inside of those universities to open the doors. And they often will have very strict requirements for you to even hold a meeting on campus. Now, that's, again, they're all very specific and particular, so it might be different in the United States than it is in Canada, but those are tough institutions to get inside, my experience.
I would suggest you look for a faculty sponsor. It's really helpful to have someone on the faculty who can help you navigate the rules and also be your ambassador on campus.
Roger, I'll chime in on that if I may.
Please.
One of the people we often forget to contact at colleges is the person or persons who teach public speaking. At Rhodes College, I'm that guy. And no one from Toastmasters has ever reached to their colleague to see about that. I'm scratching around inside Rhodes, working on getting up some interest and sponsorship for a Toastmasters club.
I think she's on it, on her way, Bradley.
I did.
I'm sorry, what?
I did ask you about that.
You did ask, Jackie. We'll talk. But we often go other places within a college, and I think that one of the places you definitely want to go is the public speaking instructors. They've already got interested students.
Yes, and I'm going to chime in on that one as well and tell you that is a great question. Because those of you who may be familiar, some of you may not be. When I was club growth director 2 years ago, I had a club with 22 members at a college that was ready to go. Officers, money, everything. But what I did not have was the buy-in of anyone on that campus. And I did not dare take Toastmasters to that campus, even with money in hand, officers in tow, and applications to charter without permission from that university. So it's important to have someone from that university with buy-in that's going to be the liaison there on campus. So colleges are tricky, but you must have great footing before chartering a club on the campus. Jessica, back to
Do
you.
we have time for me to give that simple idea?
Yes.
It'll only take about a minute. I want to give a shout out to Kingdom Toastmasters in Central Arkansas and Bill Jackson. He did an HPL on a special themed meeting. And that club was excited about that meeting for 2 months. A month or more before the meeting was held, the day of was very special. And I believe it's carried over for a few weeks after that. So probably every club has some people who are in level 4 and level 5, and they need to do those HPL projects. So consider doing an HPL just for a special themed meeting and put the time and the effort into it. And I think you could be amazed at what it would do for your club.
Yes, I like it. I like it. I like it. Jessica, you
Yes,
have something for us.
I do have something for you. A very, very special, hot off the presses promo video. Can everyone see my screen? Say yes with abundance. There we go. I'll take a
Yes.
thumbs. Here we go.
Hello, District 43 Toastmasters. My name is Tennille Hill. I am conference coordinator and working with the registration team. We want you to register for our conference, reserve your room here at the Embassy Suites, and we need you to volunteer.
For more information and to register, visit d43toastmasters.org. Meet me in Little Rock.
All right, all right, all right. Hot off the press, our 70th. Ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating 70 years in District 43, while the organization is celebrating 100 years. This is going to be a grand event. Put on your dancing shoes for Friday night for the award ceremony, and we will give out awards honoring people all over the district. Saturday, our business council meeting and our educational workshops, as well as the coveted International Speech Contest and Evaluation Contest. We want you to meet us in Little Rock for our 70th Platinum Jubilee. Are y'all in? Are you in? Little Rock, are you
Hey.
ready for us? Are
Mm.
you ready for us, Little Rock?
Come on.
I don't know if you're ready. It doesn't sound like y'all are ready for us.
They're on mute.
We're ready.
I'll be there.
All right.
They live in fear of my ability to press the mute button. They're just intimidated.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for this extended version of how to attract and retain members. Thank you, past International President Pat Johnson, for gracing us with your presence this evening and all of the nuggets that you have given us. Thank you, past District Governor Roger Pritchett, for once again reinforcing sparkling meetings. And Erica May, thank you for giving us your nuggets about quality over quantity and how to prepare for meetings to attract and attain these members. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. The call to action that we're issuing tonight, again, we want you to prepare your role, prepare your agenda in advance. Seek out people to help you with your sparkling meeting. Invite us, invite others, so that you always have people there. So when guests arrive, you're not getting ready, you're ready. So don't get ready, stay ready. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you in Little Rock.
Don't forget to save the chat.
Save the chat. Okay, Jessica, would you like to give us instructions on saving the chat?
All right, here we go. Well practiced. If you would like to save the chat and all its amazing ideas you have seen tonight, there is a little button at the bottom of your chat pop-out box that is 3 dots. These 3 dots are to the direct right of the line that holds the text icon, the smiley face, the page. If you collect those 3 dots, you hit those, you will see a menu. Your first option will be Save Chat. This will save the chat to your computer in your Zoom folder under My Documents.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray.